Hey, I'm
Look at you
recording
sitting
now.
out in the sunshine.
I know, it's beautiful. Okay, I just hit record. So I'm going to mute everybody. But again, that doesn't mean you can't talk at all. Like if you want to say something or interrupt me, just unmute yourself. Just if several people are unmuted, I just like to tell people that again. The topic that I want to talk about tonight was positive energy, like an energy that you put out into the universe. And I know that I've touched on this before, but I think it's worth, hi Grace, your hair is super cute. I think it's worth having like an entire discussion around it. And a lot of times, honestly, when I pick our meeting topics, it's mostly about things that that are resonating with me that week. So maybe it seems a little bit random, but I think it all can connect to the things that we're doing with all these new incentives this month. And kind of last week we talked about recruiting and asking for parties. Again, this kind of connects and just goes off. Like I feel like I always draw towards this topic. So I wanted to have this full topic because this whole year has been an adjustment. I've talked about this, I think, before, but it's really been an adjustment period for my business because it wasn't necessarily going the way that I thought it would go. And so things had to be revamped. And then, learning not to compare yourself to other people. That's a big thing for me and has always been a big thing for me. And so it's getting my mind right, my energy right. And once I can get those two things aligned, then the magic happens. And so the other piece of it too is as a leader, my dog is doing something really weird right now. Anyways, as a leader, I notice a trend in what stops people or I can sense when somebody's not doing well or maybe not doing well, but getting the results that they want. It's always the energy that I'm receiving from them when I'm having these conversations. And I know, like, for example, yesterday, Emily reached out to me to talk to me about something and my energy was not good. And I noticed that I started like being super negative and like, kind of like pity party, oh, woe is me, like situation. I was like, you know what? I'm not in a good spot right now. Let me come back to you and talk to you about this when I can get my mind right. And I actually reached out to Amy and just talking with Amy in general, sometimes like saying the things to her was really talking to myself as well. And so like those sort of things sometimes help me kind of taking a deep breath and diving into personal development are the things that I need to do to get myself straight so that I can start talking about or thinking about things right. So anyways, that's just kind of the background of why I decided I wanted to talk about this because it's so important. The number one thing I want to say is the thing that sets like somebody that's successful in this business, unique or any direct sales company, really, that sets them apart from people that aren't are because they didn't give up. The thing is that network marketing is not easy. And I think so many people sign up thinking that, sorry, I'm still getting rid of this cold, but thinking that it's a quick fix. Now you're going to get rich, so to speak, quicker in this business than you are maybe working your full-time job or really a lot of other opportunities, because even if you open your own business, you have all these other costs, and with direct sales, you don't really have those costs, but that's a whole other topic. But if you put in the hard work and dedication, you're going to get there quicker than you would with any other opportunity. But it's not like I joined and then tomorrow I'm getting an extra $500 a month. It's just not, it doesn't work that way. And in fact, it's just different for everybody. And we just have to remember to never give up. And the things that what stops us all the time is ourselves. It's the only thing that ever sets us apart that gets in the way of success is ourselves. In my experience and when I'm working with people. And I'll notice that, so I have a lot of people on the team that say they want to work and then they work for about half a month and then they don't get exactly what they want, and so then they stop working. And they still keep their discount and they sometimes pop in when there's something exciting, and then they don't work anymore when something doesn't happen the way they want it to. And so that inconsistency, I think, really comes from they're not getting what they want right now. They're feeling like that negative thought thinking. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like they've not necessarily not getting what they want, but they're feeling discouraged. So they're like, why put in the time and effort? You know what I mean? And so basically you girls here are my consistent, I'm going to come to the meetings every week. I'm going to get what I can take and use it. And I know that you guys are all pretty consistent. And so I wanted to talk about like sticking with it even when it's hard, and what that means, and how being positive will like help the results. So, for example, no, sorry. Can you turn it off? Sorry. He's like looking at me. No, that's not gonna work. Sorry, honey, when I'm done. So where was I go? No, I got distracted. Okay. So changing your energy when you are like messaging somebody. So we talked about this last week. If you can totally believe in your heart that you are doing something good for that person when you're sending them a message, then it's going to change the energy, and that person is going to feel it or sense it, or the universe does its thing. I don't even know or understand it really, but it makes a huge difference. So, like the day I started, so for the longest time, I have not reached out for parties. Like that's something new that I'm working on recently, but I've just got away from it because I didn't know how to ask for them anymore, because it's just really shifted in the last 2.5 years. Getting parties were super easy to get in the beginning of when I started. And that's because not everybody was doing a party online. So it was simple, and then it started to be not so simple. And then I, focused my energy on other things and whatnot and whatever. So I stopped. And then I decided I needed to not stop. And I just started messaging people. And I just said I didn't even try to focus on like it being a scary thing or hoping that they didn't say no, or that it's like, nothing's going to happen. So why am I you know what I mean? Like all those negative thoughts that we get. And I just, I'm just going to ask for a party because they're fun. Like I love doing parties. I think they're fun. And so I'm just going to do it, and they can get free rewards. And so I asked them, and I got 3 parties out of it. I don't remember how many I messaged. Maybe, I don't know. But not every single person responded. Not every person said yes, but I got people that were as excited as I was responding. And that's what's important, because my heart and my mind were in a different place. A really good example too for me is that when, like I always notice that when my heart and my mind are aligned in a positive energy, that things just happen the way they're supposed to. So Amy's probably heard this story like 100 times, but because I like to tell this story because I think it's so like important. I think there's a few new people that haven't heard it, so I want to share it again. But the month that I went orange, this is like the best example ever. I was so far away, or at least in my mind, I had no clue. I was like, there's no way my person she's no longer working with us, but she was going to be hitting green, and I knew that she was. And when somebody hits green underneath you, if you don't understand the comp plan yet, you will lose money if you are not orange. And I had already in my mind knew that was going to happen. This is what I had been thinking. It's going to happen. I'm going to lose money. It's fine. She's going to get green. I'm so excited for her. And then it was like a couple of days before the end of the month, and Emily said, you can still hit orange. Let me help you get there. And I said, really? Like, I couldn't believe that she even thought that was a reality. So I went home and I busted my ass to get to orange. And what I did is a totally different topic. But what changed everything was my thinking in my heart and believing that I could do it. And then not only did I get orders from people that I was talking to, but I got orders from random people that I hadn't been talking to. I rarely get an order for a collection in my parties. Like, I don't think I had been talking about collections. But I had a party going that was completely dead. Not one person interacting. And I don't even think the hostess was interacting. And this girl ordered a collection out of nowhere. And I know, and I believe it's because I was like, I need to do this, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to believe in it. And putting it out in the universe, at the time I didn't understand that concept, but putting it out into the universe that this is going to happen for me and there's nothing that's going to stop me, it it happened. So I know that probably every time I just always talk about You Are a Badass because it's like a Bible for that. Like whenever I'm feeling down, I just pop that book in my Kindle. I have the physical copy, but in Stephanie, by the way, I know that I have a message from you, but I haven't opened it, but we can talk about that in a minute. And I didn't read the whole thing, but I think you're asking me how Emily and I share a account, but I have, and so I'll talk to you about that in a second, but Audibles, I listen to that in the mornings, and just listening to her like pumps me up again that I can do anything. And so basically you are always going to have a time that you're going to feel like you can't do it. I shouldn't say you're always going to have a time. That doesn't make sense. But you're always going to have moments where you're like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I wasting my time? This sucks. Nobody likes me. Look at how awesome she's doing. I can't do what she can do. But remember to never allow yourself to stay in that thinking. Like, you can't allow it. And it's okay for you to come to me and say, hey, I'm feeling really down, not gonna lie. Like, I do this very rarely, but sometimes I just need like a pep talk. Like, Emily and I don't really work together as much anymore, but like sometimes I just go to her and say, hey, like, I'm really struggling right now, and this is why, and this is how I feel, and I need you to just lift me up. And because I'm the kind of person, and this isn't everybody, but I'm the kind of person, words of validation really work for me. So if you're like, girl, you can do this, you can do anything, look at all that you've done, look at this, look at that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do it. Like, it's different. Not everybody's the same. Other people are encouraged differently. Like, for example, Emily is like, you can't do this, and she's like, okay, watch me. Like, I'm not like that. If you say I can't do that, then I probably will believe you. Like, it's not a strength, but now you know that's how it works for me. But I need that. And so if you ever feel like that's you and you need that, please do not hesitate to tell me that. However, I don't want you messaging me and being like, I suck at this. I don't, like, where you're just wanting to vent. Like, come to me to say, like, help me, I'm struggling here and I need to get out of this. Then we can talk. Then we can talk about it. I don't want a bunch of negative energy out there, but it's okay to be like, I'm struggling. Let's talk about, can we just talk about this for a minute, so that you can get different ideas and different ways to think about it, because it's all a mind game. It's all a mind game. And we just need to remember that you can do anything, and all of our journeys are different. And I think it's hard because you see some of I don't know if any of you follow Black status leaders, but you see some of them and how some of them have jumped up so quickly, and you're like, what? And the thing is that everybody's situation is different. Everybody's circle is different. Everybody's life is different, and everybody's plan is different. And I truly believe that all of us have a plan, and there's a journey, and whatever that journey is going to happen. You just have to believe it. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen when it's supposed to. And like I was telling Amy the other day, like, we are going to be inspiring because we worked our asses off, sorry for the language, but it's true, to get to the top. And we weren't just like, I'm Black status in 6 months. Not saying that that's not cool, like, awesome. That's inspiring too. But it's also inspiring to watch people that haven't given up. And when I went to Unified last year, there was a girl that was at Unified for the first time. She had been with the company since it began. And pretty much since it began, like back when they had meetings where Derek and Melanie were just like there. Like, it was no big deal to hang out with Derek and Melanie. But she's like, it's taking me longer than others, but she still made it, and she loved it. It's, she still made it to Unified. And she was so happy to be there. Like, there was no her like feeling bad about her taking 3 years to get to green. So, or not 3, I don't even know how many. It doesn't matter. But either way, it took her a long time to get to where she wanted to be. So, and that's when that's when the company launched. So many people think they should have gotten in the beginning, but I don't think that matters at all, because we're still in really early stages of our company. And Megan James when I started, she was orange. And then it was a year later that she was Black. That's quicker than me, obviously. But I mean, it didn't, I actually remember, and I hope it's not bad that I share her story, but I just remember her being a little bit bummed at her first convention because she was purple and she wasn't Black and she wanted to be Black by convention. And now look at her. You know what I mean? Like, and she's amazing. I just love that lady. So yeah, I guess that's, you know, when I decide these meetings, I just talk from the heart. And I wanted to talk a little bit, sorry, I knew I wanted to talk about this, and I already shared it with my chat with you, Jen, Grace, and Brooke, but for everybody else, so I was listening to the 10X rule because that book is really good if you want to gun for something that you feel like you can't attain, and that for me right now is the incentive trip. But anyways, I can do it, but it's just like a lot of hard work. But, which by the way, Amy, I want to talk to you, but, I just haven't had a chance to, just remembered. But anyways, so I was listening to it again, and it was talking about fear, and it was talking about rejection. And he was so, like, when you listen to his book, it's really good because of his voice is really exciting. Like, he makes it, you listen to it, right, Grace, or did you read it? You listen to it? So he's like, and he'll like be like, he's got like the Southern accent, and he says stuff like, go get him, baby. Like, it's just, I don't know. He's not reading the book. He is what he is. Anyways, long story short, he's talking about fear, and he's talking about rejection, and how you will not, like, first comes like enemies and negativity, and I can't remember the word that I'm looking for, before admiration though, and people are going to be negative about what you're doing, and people are going to not support you. But the thing is that shows that you're going to be successful if you keep going through it, because then people admire you when you get to the top. And I had said to them too, and if you haven't seen Megan James' post on her wall, I should share it into the group. But she's like, I've been unfriended, I have been blocked, I have this, and this, but I have also gained all of this. And then there are people that were commenting, they're like, oh, I've been watching you since the beginning. I can guarantee you they were annoyed with her posts in the beginning, because everybody's been annoyed by unique posts, especially in the beginning when I was doing crazy. I mean, I look in my like memories. I should post some of the things or share some of the things that I used to post. Like, they're so bad. But I didn't know, like, we were still learning and whatever. But anyway, so you're going to have negative things. People aren't going to support you, and especially your circle. Honestly, I'm surprised when people's circles support them right away. And I actually don't know if it's a good thing, because then they think that that's so their success is going to be like that always. And then it's like not, because they're burnt out, they're not branching out, and they're not working. I don't know. I shouldn't say there's a good or a bad way, but most of the time people's circle, an audience that they have, are not that supportive, because especially with the amount of people that are jumping into different direct sales companies, and then they stop and they go on to the next one, or they don't do it again or whatever. They want to see that you're going to push through no matter what. And once they see that you're sticking around and you're being successful, then they're going to start supporting you more. And I still had people that have been watching me since the beginning just starting to order. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're newer, that it takes a while for your circle to kind of come around. So that is why parties are so important. That's why threatening your best friend and your mom and your aunt to have parties for you is important, because you're going to get their friends. Every person has a number of people that they're connected to that you're not. I like had to beg my best friend in the beginning, and my mom, I just went in and did all the posting for her. Like, I just pretended to, like, she gave me her login information because she can't figure that out. But I was, like, just getting the word out there. That's why parties are so important. And this month is going to be awesome for parties. So I'm kind of rambling now. I hope I stayed on the right topic. But does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts about things that I've said at all? No? Well, one thing I forgot to add but I feel like it's kind of a given. But personal development, this is why also personal development is so important, because you need to be able to, and I'm not consistent with it. Don't get me, like, I'm not consistent with it. It's been awesome having a 45-minute drive to work because I just stick in my audibles and listen to it, and that helps me. But before, it was like sometimes I just didn't want to listen. So I'm not perfect by it, but I notice when I'm not doing it, then everything else suffers. So you're back. Okay, good. Okay.
Well, I may have a random question.
Sure.
How do you get people to, like, what do you find people participate most in parties with? Like, how do you get them to, not like force them to interact, but what do you feel like catches their attention more?
Well, that's a good question, because it just seems to vary depending on the group. I did not do like a welcome post this time in my last 2 parties, and I don't know that that was a good idea, because most people, like, they sometimes forget. I always give away a mask sample, and because it's $2.50, and I think it's worth that, to try to get interaction. In the last 2 parties, I had like a welcome, like tell me the number on your house, like your house number is, because I did it in your launch party, your house party or number is your budget for makeup, what would it be, and how do you know the hostess? That seemed to get interaction right away, but that didn't mean that consistently they were. But one thing I'm noticing is not to pay attention to likes or the comments, but the seen at, or who's seeing it, because so many people are afraid, I think, to like and comment on DS Company's stuff, because they're afraid you're going to pounce on them and say, buy my things, here's my link, blah, 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 So just being consistent and getting your hostess to post, getting your hostess to reach out to her friends and say, hey, no obligation to buy, but if you just interact in my party, it's going to help Facebook algorithms, because especially if it's in a group, not everybody's actually getting notified that you're posting. So if she posts, first of all, they're going to most likely see it over your posts because it's their friend. And then also if her friends post on that, then if there's enough interaction, it'll get into their news feed. So getting your hostess coaching is key. Getting her as involved as possible is going to help your party. For me, I don't even know how to compare it, because if I'm in a Facebook party now, like, I'm so deliberate when I'm on Facebook that I miss so many other things. If it's not unique related, I'm like, no. And I actually did a party swap with a Keep Collective hostess, which I'm actually excited about, because I hope you guys buy things. Just kidding. But like, meaning like I want to get rewards for it. I've never had, I think they look cool, but I just asked her to do a party swap. So if there's somebody that has another DS company that you are interested in, ask for a party swap. That's one way. I wouldn't do 10 different DS companies, so you also have a bunch of parties, but I don't like to have a lot of parties because I spend so much time talking about unique, but every once in a while it's good to do that. Did that answer your question? Amy, do you have anything to add to that? I know you're good at that, posting and getting people.
Real quick, I found a bracelet that I want from your.
Okay. Cool.
I have the double bracelet, and I am in love. The rose, that's a rose gold, and then on the other side it's like gray.
Yeah.
But it loops. It's a double bracelet from there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to add to my collection.
Yay.
Really cute. But no, I was just gonna say, but you hit it about talking to the hostess about messaging our friends just to get them to interact. I mean, that always seems to help.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. It's hit and miss. It just all depends.
My hostess right now, and Brooke, you're in this party, she keeps posting selfies. She's super gorgeous with her makeup, but none of it's unique. And she does it without me telling her to, so I'm like, oh, good. Shit. Like, she's going to start telling him what she's wearing, and it's not.
Oh, that's true.
I hope not, but I don't know. I mean, I love her. She's like the sweetest, but like, I just need to like calm it down, because like, this isn't helpful to me. Like, what she's wearing, I can't offer to. I can offer to you something close, but I don't know. But anyways, but she's pretty she's never actually ordered from me, but it's awesome because I'm doing, like, she's really inspired by doing her makeup for my lives. And that's cool. To me, that in itself is just as cool as getting an order, because I'm inspiring somebody to get brave. Like, so you have to think about that with your lives too, like how you're inspiring people.
Did you party swap with Mandy,
Mandy,
the keepsake?
her name is Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie. Okay, never mind. Because Katie, this is totally off, but Katie had a party.
Yeah.
And I asked her if she wanted a party swap, and she's like, no, I'm already doing one in May. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So I thought maybe it was Mandy.
Oh, Mandy with
Mandy Hill, I think.
Katie. Oh yeah, no, I didn't order from that, and honestly, it's because I kept forgetting. So I don't do things on Facebook.
I did at the last minute, but I was just curious if it was her because I was going to keep hitting her up. But if you're doing it for her, I was like, okay, not going to touch it. So
It's a school that like randomly messaged me because she started in another direct sales company, and she's telling me about it. And she's like, hey, like, she doesn't watch me, or I never see her on my timeline at all. And she's like, you're killing it with Younique. I found a bracelet that I think would be good for you. I don't actually like it, but like, I don't know. I mean, it was sweet and I kind of liked it, but I don't want something that says like Younique on it. I don't know.
I know I got that too. Katie had a bunch of them sent, so I was like, yeah, no, I ordered something completely different. But.
Right. I got my, like, when you hit, for those of you, like, when you hit green twice and get to go to Unified, you get a bracelet from them, and that says Younique on it. And I'd like to actually do something where it can wrap with it, so it's pretty, because this is a really nice bracelet. Like, it's like really high quality, but I already have that. But she's like, well, I said, I think I probably want more with my brand, so like either Regal Beauty or Kindred Beauties. So she did some with, it was actually pretty what she did with different initials and stuff, so.
That's cool. Yeah, I was just curious because I was going to keep on her even though she's having a party, but cool.
Yeah, no, it's not her, so you keep on her. Stephanie, to answer your question about the book, the Audibles, so Emily just purchases it. I don't know how it works because I didn't purchase it, but she has an account and then she pays it, and then I give her half the money through PayPal. I mean, we live in the same town, but we don't ever see each other, so I just send her money through Friends and Family.
Do you use the Audible app through Amazon?
How do you get the book?
What?
When she buys the book, how do you get it? How do you share?
It's in your account. So then so I log into my app with her login information.
Okay. That's what we did.
So, and then something about how like she has, and I don't know how it works, but you get credits or something. So I asked her to buy the Badass Making Money one.
Oh, I started listening to that one. If you have an Amazon account, the Audibles is like a monthly fee, just kind of like Netflix. It's $15 a month. You get a credit. So each credit is a free book, whether the book is $17 or whatever. They just put in there like you can use your credit towards the book.
Oh,
so it's like a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
I saw Badass at Making Money. Is that what you said, Brooke? Or
Yeah.
Did you read You Are a Badass yet?
No.
Okay.
I downloaded You Are a Badass. Like,
don't get it yet, Brooke. Anyways, you should download that. That's really good. But I'm excited about she just launched this. She just released it, right?
She did. I just started listening to it today.
I'm excited. I decided I wanted to stay on the 10X rule and finish that, and then go to that one because I want to make money. But anyways, sidebar. But that's how you would share it. So if there's anybody that doesn't, because $15 can be a lot of money if you don't want to spend it. I don't know if I legally or not legally. I don't know if I should be advising you to do that, but that's what me and Emily did. Then you.
That's what they're gonna do.
My mom shares my Prime account, so.
In my Prime account, and downloaded You Are a Badass.
Yeah.
On there for her.
Yeah. Because it's extra from Prime, right? $15 extra.
No, it was $49.
Yeah. Because I have Prime, but I know it's still an additional $15 a month for Audible.
Yeah. Like
My
Amazon
dad's
offers like
always-
HBO subscriptions to all this stuff. So that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Okay. Any other questions or comments related or unrelated? Did you find this helpful? Do you
Yeah.
think we need to have a checklist when I'm talking? Because I go off and do I make sense when I'm talking to you? Okay, if not, I'll start planning. I don't plan it. Just yeah. Okay.
Oh, who's doing our next task?
Mandy? Is it Mandy or Amy? Amy, are you?
Amy did the eyeliner one, right?
No, I did.
Oh, that was you.
I can throw it up tonight. I don't know if I know Mandy's had a rough day, so I don't know if she's just checked out of the universe for the rest of the evening or what, but I can toss it up there.
Yeah.
And she can get the
Otherwise
next.
you could too. I don't know. I never got, everybody's here that's in the group. Did everybody get a white liner? So here's what happened. I'm gonna stop recording right now.